Konnichiwa. What you see behind me is not my family. Again, I repeat, this is not my family, but it could have been. In 1972, a brutal dictator named Idi Amin kicked out all the Asians from the country of Uganda. They were given 90 days to escape the country. But where were they supposed to go? Violent mobs burned my family's house to the ground, and they took everything. And when my parents talk about the mob, they don't talk about losing their family business. They don't talk about losing all of their possessions. They talk about losing their photographs, their history, their identity. They were frozen in time. 2 decades later, full of hard work and struggle, spanning 4 different continents, my parents had my sister and myself in the United States. And when we asked them about where they came from, they could only share stories. And so I had to go see for myself. And my travels took me to both Africa and Asia. But it was really Cambodia that changed my life forever. Now, Cambodia is a magical place. There are fruit trees absolutely everywhere. And if you're not careful, you might get hit on the head when it falls from the heavens. During the monsoon season, children will take boats to school. And for breakfast, they'll put their hand in the water to eat fresh shrimp and fish. But an ambassador to Cambodia once said that Cambodia is the most dangerous place you will ever visit. First, you will fall in love with it, and then it'll break your heart. Slowly, the curtain of Cambodia began to reveal itself to me, and I witnessed a village mother bathing her newborn son. But unfortunately, she was washing his skin with laundry powder, a harmful detergent which should never be applied to the skin. I was devastated. I did not know what I could do. What can one person do? What made me even more devastated was learning that 2 billion people around the world do not have access to a bar of soap at home. And in some regions of the world, only 1% of people have a bar of soap. And so I had an idea. What if I could reach out to soap companies and ask for donations of soap so we could supply it to 99% of people in these communities with no soap? Every single factory I contacted said no. But, they said, you can have this. Every year, 25,000 metric tons of soap waste is generated by the soap industry, and it goes directly into landfills. This is a natural byproduct of the soap making process and is the equivalent of 250 million bars of soap. And so, I had an even better idea. What if we could employ women just like I had met in that Cambodian village, provide them with jobs to recycle the soap into new bars, which we could then redistribute to children with hygiene education, so we could save lives. And before I knew it, this idea spread all over the world. In Sierra Leone, in Nepal, in Tanzania, in Laos, and in 30 other countries all over the world. In the last 10 years, we have distributed nearly 65 million bars of soap and reached 10 million children and refugees with soap that they need. But most importantly, we have been able to employ 175 marginalized women who have seen their savings and incomes increase by 400%. Now today, we are here to talk about regenerative futures. And you will hear a lot about this subject today. And to me, there are two types, both outside and inside. Outside, to me, is about what sort of world we want to live in. And inside is about what sort of world we want to live for. And I think that in many ways, outside is much simpler. It is about leaving the world in a place better than where we found it. And I do not want to live in a world where 2 million children, they die every year because of diarrhea, when soap companies are throwing it into landfills. And through our organization, through our model, the more waste that we recycle, the more jobs we can provide for women, and the more lives that we can save. Last week, Earth Company completed a crowdfunding campaign. And so many of you in this audience donated generously. Arigato. Because of your support, we will provide soap to 800,000 Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh. And we will be able to recycle 15% of all the world's soap waste every single year. But we will not stop until we recycle 100% of all the waste. And we estimate that we can reach 100 million children and refugees when we do that. And now, coming inside. I don't know if you know, but we as people too can also regenerate. Through this work, through this journey, my family has gotten their identity back. And our mission is now to take care of those today who looked like us in the past. And so, I ask all of you here today, what will your regenerative future be? Thank you so much.